Autumn means cozy vibes, but also thrillers. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I'm taking you through all of the books that I would love to get to this autumn. As with every seasonal TBR, I have got 6 books that I have particularly got my eye on for this season, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to mirror what happened in summer of this year and get all 6 of them ticked off. Let's get started with the first book, and that is Lying in Wait by Liz Nugent. Liz Nugent is one of my favourite Irish thriller writers. I have read 2 of her other books, Skin Deep and Unraveling Oliver, I think is the other one that I've read. I loved both of them, but I think this is her second published book. This one is about Lydia Fitzsimons, who is living in a very affluent suburb of Dublin, has got basically the perfect life, loving husband, a doting son, but she is an accessory to a murder. And the first line of the book is actually one of the most gripping lines that I think I've ever seen in any book at all. My husband did not mean to kill Annie Doyle, but the lying tramp deserved it. How do you read that line and not instantly want to know what happened? I am so intrigued by this book, and I know that with Liz, I'm in very safe hands here. I cannot wait to get this done. I think I'm going to read this sometime in October because October is a very spooky month. It's got a lot of thriller vibes, and I think that this is going to be the perfect time to read it. Next up is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, and this has been on my TBR for a really long time, but for some reason the cover screams autumn to me. It's got a lot of kind of deep autumnal colors. It's got dark red, it's got oranges on it, so I thought, you know what, let's go. This is following Grace, who is living in New York and has, as I've just said, finished her PhD. She's finished her Viva, and she goes off to Vegas to kind of celebrate this and to blow off some steam and to let her life get back to normal. When she is there, she wakes up the next morning and discovers that she has married a woman that she met the night before, she's never met before, and has no idea who this person is. So the two of them decide to go and get the marriage annulled, but of course there are a lot of hurdles that they have to go through, and the marriage has to last a little bit longer than both of them were expecting. Of course, now that they are put into this kind of marriage of convenience situation, real feelings are going to start to develop. I am so interested in this book. I'm really intrigued by it, and I think that it's one I'm going to get to in August of some stage because I've got it on my sights for not just the rom-com-a-thon but also for pick-pong-a-thon, and I am genuinely going to make it my effort to get to this in August. Next up is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the second book in the Bright Fall series, and I loved Delilah Green Doesn't Care so much that I have hyped this up pretty highly. And I really hope that it's going to live up to that hype, because if it reaches the same heights as Delilah did for me, I am in for a ride. This book follows Delilah's stepsister Astrid, who at the end of the first book has made a completely huge life decision. And her life is now on a completely different trajectory to how it was when we first meet her in the book. She has completely thrown herself into her career, kind of as an escape mechanism, kind of as a way of not dealing with everything that's happening in her life. And her friends are starting to get a little bit concerned, but Astrid feels like she's doing okay. She is an interior decorator, she is a renovator, and she has just been approached to appear on Inside America, which is a home renovation TV show about redesigning and renovating hotels, B&Bs, places where people go to stay. What she's not expecting is that Prue's granddaughter Jordan is going to appear on this show and that their heads are going to butt immediately. Of course, as they start to work on the show and as they start to put their designs together, things start to thaw out. I've read a couple of the descriptions of this book, and I know that it has got a lesbian main character, a bisexual main character, non-binary representation in some of the side characters, and I am really intrigued to see how this book is going to play out. Next is a book that intimidates the shit out of me. Matilda by Roald Dahl. Hear me out. This copy is in German. I made it my goal this year to read at least one book, cover to cover, entirely in German. And I decided that Matilda was going to be it. It's one of my favourite childhood stories. It's the book that got me into reading in the first place. If it wasn't for Matilda, I probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of a huge stack of books telling you about how much I love reading. So I felt like that was a good full circle way to come. If I was going to start reading in a new language, why not start with one of the old faithfuls? We're all familiar with the story of Matilda, of course. She is a child genius, basically, who is neglected at home and heads off to school for the first time to the Trunchbull Academy, which is run by Miss Trunchbull, one of the world's worst head teachers I think I've ever seen. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that this is going to be in German, but I know the story so well. I've read it so many times. I've listened to the audiobook so many times that this isn't one that I need to concentrate on the story. I just need to look at the language, at the syntax, at the grammar. I know that books in German are written in a completely different tense to what is usually used verbally. So that is going to be something that's a little bit different, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a go and let's see if I lose my mind. Next up is Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. This cover screams autumn. The vines, the look of it, everything. I am going to be buddy reading this with Amelia from Amelia Barlow Books, and I think both of us just decided we've had it on our TBRs for far too long. We're going to spur each other on to actually get it finished. This is a fictionalized version of the life of Hamlet, who is one of the sons of William Shakespeare, you know, the guy who did the plays that we've all studied in school. Hamlet passed away when he was 11 years old, and this kind of led to the creation of Hamlet, which is one of William Shakespeare's longest but most beloved and most endured works. Hamlet is also the play that I studied for my Leaving Cert. It's one of my favourite Shakespearean works, and I have a feeling that that connection and that love is something that might spark up in the pages of this book. I'm hoping. Let's see how it goes. I did try and read some of this as an ebook maybe last year, and I think the format just wasn't working for me. I think I needed it to be a physical book that I could hold in my hands, turn the pages, and I just needed to have that little bit of a more deep connection with the book. So hopefully having a physical copy is going to make a huge difference. Finally, I am really looking forward to The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I feel like this is the perfect book for October because October is the month of Halloween. So you should be reading spooky books, witchy books, and this sounds like the perfect recipe for me. This one follows Viv, who had a summer fling with Reese way back that ended pretty badly. So she decides that she's going to put a curse on him using a candle from Bed Bath & Beyond. 9 years later, Reese comes back to the town, and it transpires that this curse may have worked a little bit better than Viv was ever intending it to. His life has completely shattered to pieces, and so Viv and Reese have to kind of team up to try and set the world to rights and try and lift this hex that she has put on him. Something that I'm really excited about this book is that Reese is a Welsh character. I studied in Wales and lived in Wales for about a year and a half. So I am really interested to see how that is going to be put onto the pages of the book. Those are the 6 books that I am hoping to get to in the autumn of this year. Which one do you think that I should start with, or what book are you most looking forward to for autumn of this year? Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.